Designated Survivor, Episode 20, Bombshell. Now this is the episode leading up to the season finale, and I think it was pretty good. Sadly, Hannah does not get rescued, and I knew that was going to happen, especially when she wakes up. I was like, I can tell that she's not inside a tanker. But it seems to get crazy when it turns out she opens up the truck, and that sets off a 3-minute bomb. Based on the promo, she's somehow able to escape from that, so they kind of gave that away, although I figured she'd live. I wasn't really worried. The big question is, does everyone get to live? Does that building still end up destroyed? It seemed like there were quite a few bombs in there, so that could take out who knows how many buildings, especially with them being underground. That could just, there's so many elements to what that could destroy unless they defuse that bomb within, almost 3 minutes, which I don't think is going to be the case. But they are in the FBI building, so there's certainly potential to that, but it's just like, alright, this is really, really crazy. But sadly, she doesn't get rescued by the end of this episode. She's able to get the warning out there, and they go to take over the ship, which was a nice sequence. They at least find people, because honestly, I thought it was going to be like they'd show up and nobody would be there. They wouldn't even have any people to arrest or anything. I thought it would just be empty. But they actually do find people, so I was like, alright, there's at least something good that came from this. They could probably, interrogate all those people and maybe get something potentially. But I was like, alright, there's at least something to that. Sadly, another thing, they almost get, I can't even think of the guy's name, but the mole that's within the White House, almost get him. We get to see had his buddy come back, so he gets kind of brought in to, basically find out what's going on as far as the tech side of things. He's able to put a little trace on the last couple of files left. They get the trace, and it's about to work, and then basically the IP address gets copied to all the other computers, and he just walks right past it, and it's like, man, I thought that this was going to be that moment. Especially, I forgot that this was happening, but I knew we were towards the end. I forgot the next episode was the finale. But I'm like, I know we're leading to the end of the season, so I thought, yeah, he gets captured, even if we had 2 episodes left. He gets captured, then we get some stuff for the next episode, then the finale. But especially with it being the finale, I would have been even more upset that he ended up walking past him if I knew that ahead of time. Because I'm like, this is the perfect moment. We're right at the end of the season. Boom, he gets captured. Still doesn't give us all the answers, but it gives them something to go with for the next episode. But it's like, nope, walked right past. We'll see if he gets caught by the season finale. So we'll see how that plays out. They do bring in the reporter, so he's going to be a big part of the next episode where Kirkman interviews him and stuff like that. They do mention, this is something I brought up before, with him having certain information that he found on his own, and they do exactly what I thought they would do, and it's like, alright, well, he's got a little bit extra information that we didn't want him to know. He might be saying some stuff that might get us busted. Kill him. And I knew that would happen. I'm like, I feel like they didn't consider that ahead of time, but this was like their first step. It was nothing huge, but it was just that little bit of extra information. It's like, alright, well, he served his usefulness. We need to get rid of him because he's starting to get answers that we aren't ready to give. So I thought that might come into play, and sadly they want him dead. I don't think that's actually going to happen, especially considering he's going to be headed to the White House, but I thought that was pretty good. He definitely played an important role in this episode. He kind of throws everything off with what Kirkman is doing, because it's like, hey, U.S. didn't get the right guy, and that throws off everything Kirkman was doing as far as NATO and all that stuff. So pretty much everything he dealt with was just like, how can I possibly make this work? And he kind of does a little bit when he talks to the woman representing France, but it's not exactly perfect. Things were mucky, to say the least, based off of that single article, and it was just like things started to really fall apart for him. And they can't deny it because he knows it's true, and he can't say that it's true just yet because widespread panic. So it's very interesting. It's already falling apart because they aren't able to give out he's not giving out definitive answers. So it's just very interesting how it really affected the political side of things. But I'm certainly looking forward to the finale. I feel like everything that happened in this was just so grand on the scale of what it's leading to for the finale. Them getting so much closer to the truth, but also kind of being pulled by. Ultimately, it ends kind of in a stalemate, because it's like they get all these clues, but they kind of get nothing. They don't find Hannah. They don't end up getting the guy after he steals the last of the files. But it's like they're right there, but it just doesn't end up happening. It's just like, wow, I don't know what to really expect for this finale, but I'm certainly excited for it. And, we see a lot of the elements, like I said, with Kirkman as far as what's going on with him and the presidency, and how that's starting to really get mucked up by this by the report in this episode, I'm very excited to see how that plays out in the next one, because one of the news reports in this one is talking about how it's like one of the biggest mistakes that he's had for his newfound presidency. It's like, okay, this is a huge issue. It's a really big issue at like the worst possible time for him. And it seems like it could easily go into the finale, but with it being the finale, I don't know if it'll play that big of a part of it. So we'll see exactly what happens, how much of the politics they'll put in like this final episode of the season. But certainly a good episode. Another sad moment, they basically confirmed, which I figured, but they do have a moment where Lozano goes to Hannah and he drops Atwood's wedding ring off, so she knows that he's been killed. So that was an unfortunate scene, because I was like holding out all sorts of hope, like maybe this or that. I figured he was, just because it just looked, it was way too obvious. Like I said in my review, it was like, unless he put on a bulletproof vest that had squibs in it that made it look like he actually got shot, he is really dead. So it was just a sucky way for him to go. It's just like, it was just one of those moments where it happens so fast you don't get to register it, and it's just like, man, that really sucks. So hope he gets taken out, Lozano, in the next episode by Hannah. That would be great. But in general, of course, I'm looking forward to the finale. Really enjoyed this episode, but we'd love to know what you guys thought about it. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, least favorite parts. And of course, the finale is next week. So I just want to know what you guys want to see, what your theories are as to where things are headed. I mean, we got so many different elements. We kind of have like three main people. It's Lozano, the guy, like the super rich billionaire guy, and then our mole within the White House. They're like the three faces of like this villain organization, so there are elements to that. I feel like one of them has to go. I don't know if they'll catch the mole, but I feel like at least Lozano, because they know for a fact that he is the bad guy. Like Hannah has been kidnapped by him. There are just so many elements, so I feel like he might get taken down for sure. That's kind of my theory. I don't think all three of them will, but I think one of them will be taken down and the other two might go. Maybe Lozano and the mole, but for sure I don't think that like the rich guy is going to be taken out. But we'd love to know your theories on what's going to happen in the finale, just what you guys want to see in general, and of course what you guys thought about this episode in general. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.